Deontay Wilder targeting a fight with Oleksandr Usyk rather than an Anthony Joshua fight. So Deontay Wilder returns to action this weekend against a guy called Terrell Herndon. And it's kind of a bit of a meme at the moment, the fact that this Herndon was a fan of Deontay Wilder just a few years ago and was pictured in a selfie with him, I guess asking for his autograph and so on. So the headline, this is from Ring Magazine, it says Deontay Wilder aims to revive career, works his way towards Usyk title fight. While many pundits call for Deontay Wilder to retire after a run of paltry performances, the former longtime heavyweight title holder has ambitious plans to conquer and reign supreme once more. The quest begins Friday when Wilder takes on journeyman Terrell Herndon at Charles Koch Arena in Wichita, Kansas. The Global Combat Collective pay-per-view event will be distributed by BLK Prime, Fubo, and payperview.com, among others, for $24.95. Okay, so the fact this is on pay-per-view is laughable, but by American standards, this is an extremely cheap pay-per-view, right? What's that in English money? 17, 18 pounds or something? The standard American pay-per-view might be $80, $70, so on. This is much cheaper, but it's still laughable that it's pay-per-view at all, given the fact that it's a washed-up Deontay Wilder, who's only won, I think it's one fight in his last 5, and he's taking on an obscure journeyman in an obscure location. And they're somehow charging a pay-per-view premium for it. But what interests me is what Deontay Wilder is quoted as saying. He said, if Usyk is still around when the time comes, it's a no-brainer. I think it will be amazing. I'll fight him if he's ready. But this year is off the table for a lot of people, for both of us. Next year could be full of surprises. He said before that he wanted to fight me, and I hope he still feels the same way. What he's done has been great, and I am happy for him. He came in and got opportunities that I couldn't get because I was dangerous. Let's stop right there, because this is yet another example of the famous delusion that Deontay Wilder has displayed throughout his career. He said Usyk got opportunities that he himself couldn't get because he was dangerous. What opportunities are those exactly, Deontay? Deontay Wilder was made several offers to fight Anthony Joshua, the final one being for over $100 million. That offer came from DAZN themselves. I can assure you that Oleksandr Usyk never received anything like an offer like that to fight Anthony Joshua. He got the AJ fight because he was mandatory challenger. He was WBO champion at cruiserweight, and the WBO introduced this rule whereby if you're an incumbent champion in one weight class and you move up, you get installed as mandatory challenger. You can debate whether that's fair at all, but still, as mandatory challenger, he would have got whatever, 20%, 25%, certainly nowhere near the amount Deontay Wilder was offered by DAZN to fight Anthony Joshua. So Wilder's just talking absolute rubbish here. What opportunities? Oleksandr Usyk has created all his opportunities for himself by beating people, by cleaning out the cruiserweight division. That then set up opportunities at heavyweight. And at heavyweight, he's just gone from strength to strength. No messing about. Wilder messed about for years. Avoided Dylan White, his mandatory challenger, for years. Didn't unify with Klitschko when he had the opportunity. Didn't unify with Joseph Parker. Didn't unify with Anthony Joshua. But the man's still pushing all this delusional nonsense about, oh, I was so hard done by, victim mentality. I couldn't get opportunities like Usyk got. So basically, what we have here from Deontay Wilder is a backhanded compliment. He's being passive-aggressive. That's what he's doing. Anyway, he continues. I was rooting for Usyk to beat Fury. I knew his capabilities and how skilled he was. I was telling people before the first fight that Usyk would win based on his style. I was picking my side, and it had nothing to do with my rivalry with Fury. And after he beat him the first time, I knew it would be easier the second time. I am happy for Usyk. Continues on by saying, I'm here to make the heavyweight division exciting again. You need controversy in boxing, and I am here to stir it up again. When you have a strong Deontay Wilder, physically, mentally, emotionally, it's hard for anybody to be able to beat me or build the guts and nerves to fight me. I'm still that same person, but I just had a rocky couple of years in my life that I didn't see coming. And just like in the ring, the punches you don't see in life are the ones that are the most detrimental. All right, those are the words of Deontay Wilder. Now, going back to what you just said there with regards to rooting for Usyk against Fury, I remember when the first Usyk Fury fight was made, Deontay Wilder was asked for his view on who would win, and Deontay Wilder said words to the effect of, "Whoever is the better at cheating." That's what he said. Deontay Wilder implied that they're both going to be cheating in the fight. Where's his evidence that Oleksandr Usyk has ever cheated? Of course, with Tyson Fury, he accused him of putting egg weights in his gloves, which is just totally ridiculous. Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It blows my mind that there were casuals who actually entertained that claim that Fury had egg weights in his gloves. Do you know how much that would throw off your punch speed and punch trajectory and power if you had egg weights rattling around in your gloves? I mean, what a load of nonsense. What do you think happens if you got an egg weight in your glove and you hit a guy on the side of the head? You're going to break your flipping hand. What a load of absolute rubbish. But yeah, it's so wild and psychedelic in the world of Deontay Wilder with the casuals that are his cultists or were his cultists for the longest time, that people run with this stuff and make videos about it and act like it's legitimate information. They should have known from the amount of excuses Deontay Wilder was making that it was all a load of rubbish. I mean, this guy firstly blamed it on the suit. We're talking now about the second Tyson Fury fight. And then after that, he said the referee was in on it. He said his own trainer, Mark Breland, was in on it and he was drugged, right? His water in the corner was somehow spiked with a sedative. This is what Deontay Wilder was saying. And the referee was in on it and Fury had weights in his glove. I mean, good God, man. What a load of absolute nonsense. What a world we live in when people believe that type of stuff and think it's even plausible. Yes, of course, there's cheating in boxing. But, folks, there is cheating which makes logical sense. It makes no logical sense to be putting egg weights in your gloves. It's like some stuff from back in the 1940s, 50s in the cartoons where you'd have some cartoon character with a horseshoe in his glove. I mean, how an egg weight would get past any kind of checks. Bear in mind that Wilder would have had a representative in Tyson Fury's dressing room while his hands were being wrapped. I think he would have noticed an egg weight going in there. Do you know what I mean? And if you're trying to say that the egg weight was somehow slipped in after the hands were wrapped and the gloves were put on, then again, the egg weight will be rattling around in the glove. That'll be detrimental to the fighter. Let me not over-explain here because it should be obviously ridiculous to anyone with two brain cells to rub together that are working. So yeah, as somebody said in the live chat there, Deontay Wilder, like Tyson Fury, of late has expressed very little interest in fighting Anthony Joshua. Now, with Tyson Fury, I've given my views on why I think that is in previous videos. I think that Fury is still upset about the fact that he's lost the number one position, the perceived number one position that he was given without earning it by members of the media and a certain section of the public. He is upset that his attempt at hoodwinking people has come to an end and that Usyk has done him in twice. So for Fury, the next best thing than being called the number one, and he's still trying to say he got robbed in both fights, right? That's, I guess, part of his contingency plan to try and gaslight people into thinking he was robbed. But failing that, his next contingency is to say, well, people at least will think I'm number two if nobody else beats me. And so a Tyson Fury comeback is really all about fighting Oleksandr Usyk again. That's a risk he's willing to take because the man's already beaten him twice. So he's willing to try to go for it a third time. And if he can get the victory, then there you go. He can call himself the number one and say, yeah, they did rob me the first two times. I was number one all along. He's not interested in fighting anybody else because if he were to lose to an Anthony Joshua, and by the way, just to clarify, I think he beats Joshua, but that's just an opinion. We won't know for certain until the two guys get in the ring. If he were to lose to a Joshua or anybody else, then he would not be able to even call himself the number two heavyweight of this era. And he couldn't live with that. That's what the retirement's all about. He's sitting on the sidelines, waiting to see where the chips fall. And if an opportunity crops up for him to come out and fight, come out of this fake retirement and fight whoever is perceived to be the number one, then that's what he's almost certainly going to do, in my opinion, in my estimation. All right. With Deontay Wilder, however, I think it's a combination of money and achievement. So yes, he wants to achieve by becoming heavyweight champion again. Anthony Joshua doesn't have a heavyweight title. And as far as money goes, AJ would still be a big fight, nowhere near as big as it was a few years ago. And it's possible that Deontay Wilder against Oleksandr Usyk might be comparable in terms of the purse that Wilder would receive if the Saudis are involved. If the Saudis are not involved, then yeah, it's probably going to be a lot less than he get fighting AJ. But if the Saudis are involved, it's possible that Wilder gets a similar amount of money, or potentially more, than he would get fighting Anthony Joshua right now. And there's much more upside fighting Usyk. It's a better win over a better fighter. Do you know what I mean? And if you lose, well, you lost to the number one in the world. You didn't lose to a washed-up former champion. So this is what I was alluding to in the video I uploaded yesterday, where I asked the question, is Anthony Joshua being inadvertently frozen out? I don't think there's some type of agenda. I don't think that a bunch of people have got together behind the scenes, and this may have been the case several years ago, but I don't think it's the case now necessarily. People getting behind the scenes to freeze AJ out. I don't think it's that. I just think that because AJ's commercial value has depreciated to a large extent over the past few years, that he's no longer as attractive to some of the other more recognizable names in the heavyweight division. So that's my take on it. Give me your take. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform? Who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android, because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.